Hello. Today's topic, why does my partner ignore my questions about our issues? This is now, look, I'm going to share to the group. So hang on a quick second while I do something that's, I don't know, probably not the best when it comes to video showmanship. But anyway, today's video is a reply to a group member's question. I'm just having a problem sharing this. Oh man, okay. Sorry, tech troubles. Oh my goodness. I don't know what's going on with Facebook. Give me one more moment. Okay. I think it's starting to work. Yes, it is starting to work. Great. Okay. Why does my partner ignore questions about our issues? So I'm responding to a question by someone in my group. And if you would like to ask me questions that I respond to in videos, then go ahead and join my group, Divine Love Relationship Advice. Divine Love, I don't remember what it is. Divine Love Relationship Advice, I think. Divine Love Relationship Advice for creating heartfelt intimacy. There we go. Okay, that's my group. The link is pinned in the comments. I mean, at the top of my feed, my Facebook feed. And come find me on Facebook if you're watching this from another platform. Okay, so here's the general situation. I've been given many, many details, but I'm going to summarize the general situation. There are a number of standing issues in this relationship that have yet to be resolved, and communication around these issues is not free-flowing. However, both partners want to experience connection with each other, and both partners are starting to have conversation about spiritual frameworks that they're finding some common ground on. Now, spiritual frameworks are helpful if they give you a way to approach relationship that allows you to let go of control dynamics and find flow. They are using two different frameworks, but finding common ground in that general area. However, they don't agree on this one thing, and this is what she brought to me. She says that she's asking him clarifying questions about the unresolved issues in their relationship, and his desired approach, which he's actually verbally expressed, is that he feels that the way to transcend ego dynamics, including around these issues, is to observe from a detached point of view and do nothing. Now, doing nothing is a spiritual principle that is very important to practice. However, it does not mean that you do not address loose ends in your various experiences. Doing nothing is not about doing nothing with your body, including your mouth, which makes words. Doing nothing is really about finding stillness in your being. Doing, the opposite of doing nothing in this spiritual way, just to help flesh out the point, doing is where you are restless in your thought process. You are trying to figure out the answer. You have emotional energy that's pushing things forward. So that would be a description of doing. Doing nothing is letting go of the idea that you have the power to change things with your control, and instead taking a breath and seeking to see things deeper. But you can still speak and address issues from a place of doing nothing. And in fact, if you do, you will have better results, because it's that pushing, driving energy, or that controlling energy, that makes it so that the other person in your engagement resists what you are saying or proposing. So this brings me to the other side of this issue. The question is, I am asking clarifying questions that he does not want to entertain those clarifying questions. Now, he's said why. He said from his point of view that the way to deal with things is to just rest in the observer point of view and do nothing. However, while he may, that's what he has said, but I suspect what's actually going on is that he's holding that up as a defense against her questions. And I suspect that he's experiencing her questions as controlling. Her questions are putting pressure. Now, this is so subtle because people want to be able to believe that the way to resolve communication to a better place is with good communication techniques, like using I statements and being very calm, being very nice about what you have to say, be really listening to the other person. But I am also hearing that she feels that her points are valid. And I'm not saying that they're not valid. But when someone uses that language, that I have a valid point, and he was ignoring my valid point, what I'm hearing is this kind of, I want it to be this way, and the other person is saying, I don't agree. So this is a control power play. And a control power play is an indication that there's pressure in the communication. So I suspect that there's something that she wants to have happen, and they are not on the same page, and that her clarifying questions are applying a pressure to him that he can feel, shaping him towards the thing that she wants to have happen, which he does not agree with for some reason. Now, she might want connection. That might be what she's aware on the surface that she wants, and that clarifying questions, the objective on that she's driving towards with her clarifying questions is connection. And he probably wants connection too. However, relationship is this very interesting and nuanced dance of how to be yourself with full honoring of what feels right for you, and at the same time merge in a dance of unity or union and coordination, collaboration, and connection with another person who also has the desire and the birthright to be in balance in their self and in their core, and to honor their self-care and their needs and what they want to create. And so how do you bring these two individuals together in a dance? Well, we as individual souls can't do that. The only one that can do that is God, the divine. And that is why the basis of magical connection in relationship is to be rooted in your connection with the divine inside you. When you develop that connection, I'm just adjusting my tech a little bit. That's why my eyes are going all over the place. When you develop that connection as the basis for how you come to relationship, then that's how you access flow. And flow starts out as an individual experience, but in other words, your experience of flow will start out as an individual experience, because you have to get in flow before you can experience flow with another person. Once you're in flow yourself, then there's the next step, which I call empathic confluence. And this is part of the framework that I teach people for relationship mastery. Empathic confluence is a place where you flow together. It's a place where you have to be able to be aware of your alignment, your honoring of self-care, and your interconnection with the divine, while you are also taking in your awareness of the other person. So you're aware of your energy and their energy. And this takes some skill to develop, because generally the way we work to begin with, I mean, before we develop that skill, we're going to be thinking either or. We're going to be thinking about what's okay for us, or we're going to be focusing on our partner. It's a little hard to integrate all that information at the same time, all that energetic information at the same time. And then there's the other part, which is that we all have developed a library of survival beliefs and defense mechanisms that have been imprinted into our subconscious. And those mechanisms can get triggered at any moment. So something situationally can occur with our partner, and we're trying to stay anchored in flow in ourselves, and to feel our partner's energy, and then to integrate what their energy is saying and what their words are saying about what's right for them with what's right for us. And then something can happen that triggers a subconscious defense mechanism or a subconscious idea about love, and we can be bounced out of flow. So it's not easy. It's not simple to develop these relationship mastery skills, but it does pay off when you do, because then you can hold a place where your energy and your objective is not applying pressure to your partner, and then your partner can relax with you. So in her situation, I would recommend, whenever I work with people, the first thing that I do is I rebalance their energy so that they can get to a place where they're feeling like, where they're doing nothing, where they're connected in the core of their being, feeling at peace, at rest, and like they don't need anything in order to feel comfortable. And once their energy is rebalanced, by the way, it's not a one and done thing. We learn how to do it and then we practice it, right? But once they're getting the hang of rebalancing their energy so that they're in a peaceful place, then we work on communication. So in her situation, her partner is giving her some kind of resistance. There's something about her approach that he feels controlled by, or he feels some kind of pressure. And she doesn't know what that is. So she hasn't found how to pull that pressure out of the communication. That's what we want to do. We want pressure-free communication. That's what allows communication to flow freely. And that's what allows emotional safety for resolving grievances. If partner A feels that partner B is lobbying for their agenda, for their outcome, that creates a pressure. There's not emotional safety. If you feel like you're entering into a conversation with someone who's trying to play chess with you to get what they want, that's not safe. So someone's going to be guarded. Partner A is going to be guarded if they're in that kind of situation. Now, you might even have two people that are playing chess to get what they want in their relationship, and they want different things because they've got their own personal lenses on. So even if they want the same thing, it would look different to each person from their perspective. And then you've got a very complicated sort of set of communication dynamics, because they're both approaching each other with an agenda, and they're both guarded against each other's agenda. So that's what I'm hearing in this situation. And the way that I would fix it is, my relationship is with her, not with him. So I'm going to speak from that perspective, that I would rebalance her energy to a state of inner connection so that she can release her ideas of what she needs. That doesn't mean that therefore she just goes along with whatever he decides he wants. But it does mean that she will find the place where she can let go of arm wrestling him for what she feels like she needs. Because we really want to get to a place where what we need for connection comes from our inner connection with the divine. And that leaves freedom for our partner to be authentic and for us to be authentic with our partner. It's an add-on. It's wow, let's go for the ride of self-discovery together. It's not about getting what we need from each other. So rebalance her energy, and then I understand that there are unresolved things between them, and clarifying questions in general would necessarily be part of the process of resolving those things. But I would walk with her away to discover, in other words, I would explore with her to discover what it is she thinks she needs, because I suspect that her clarifying questions are targeting something that she wants to have happen. And that's why he's resisting. If her questions were truly neutral and open, he might need a little bit of convincing to feel safe, to be honest. But if he truly wants connection with her, and her questions were truly free from any kind of shaping, trying to shape him, then he would answer them. He would answer them. I believe that to be true. Particularly because I have now learned that he also has a self-reflective practice. So, so if you're with someone who doesn't have any kind of self-reflection, they might not want to answer questions. And then my question is, what are you doing with that person? Because if someone doesn't want to self-reflect, it's really hard to grow together. And if you're not growing together, it's really hard to have heartfelt connection and intimacy. Growth together is a prerequisite for developing that quality of connection that I am supporting people in and talking about all the time here. So that is my response to her question. And if you have a question on your mind and you appreciate the approach that I share, then I invite you, if you're not a member of my group, I invite you to join my group, Divine Love, Relationship Advice for Creating Heartfelt Intimacy. I remembered. And the link is pinned at the top of my Facebook channel. So if you are watching this on a different channel, come find me on Facebook, join my group, and ask me a question. You can ask a question by posting in the group. You can ask a question by posting anonymously in the group. And if it really makes you feel comfortable, if you don't feel comfortable doing either of those two things, you can send me a question in a DM and I will respond by video. And if you're looking for faster, deeper results, then we can have a conversation about working together as well. All right. Have a great weekend. And I will see you soon. Thank you very much.